So, welcome to this advanced LBO model. This is really an advanced leverage buyout model. So, LBO is just basically using maximum amount of leverage to acquire a company. So, this could be a private equity firm seeking for an expansion, and this could also be a venture capital firm. So, you might have different kinds of private equity that could engage in such a transaction. So we're gonna be covering a lot of things here. First of all, we have several things to account for before we begin modeling. So the first thing we want to talk about here is gonna be our model drivers. So the first year of focus is 2023. So we're gonna be projecting cash flows from 2023 to 2027. And then later on in this model, we will have to set up drivers such as sales growth and price increases, which will in turn drive revenue going forward. So we have a robust revenue schedule that we will have to simulate the volume and the prices of goods and services as a result. Because for large companies, it is very, very important for us to take into consideration the drivers of revenue so that we can in turn break revenue down into pricing and volume so that we can get accurately whatever the revenue will be for this particular company. So we also have what we call the inflation, the CPI index. This is just basically the cost of goods sold and their operating expenses. We're going to be accounting for how those costs will grow as a result of the consumer price index. Say a basket of goods and services in a Canadian household is going to be our rough estimate of this inflation rate. So we're going to be taking into account the inflation to later on estimate the cost of goods sold for this particular target company. We will also account for this inflation, how it's going to impact our operating expenses going forward. We also have what we call the capital expenditures. The capital expenditures is what this company has set aside to spend for to spend on certain fixed assets going forward. So in this case, say PP&E, property, plant, and equipment, for our very base case is going to be this amount, and then for the worst case is going to be this amount, for the best case is going to be this, and for our average case or the base case is going to be this amount. So we set up a lot of scenarios here. We're going to be selecting from this drop down menu, which we determine using our data validation Excel. So we have here the base rate, we have the best case, we have the worst case scenarios. So we have these drivers set up so that we can be on the safe side when we are trying to estimate the cases in this model. So we always have to choose from certain cases at every one point in time so we could come up with the best estimate for this particular model. So next we have the working capital section. So we have working capital drivers such as account receivable, inventory, and account payable, which will help us later on account for the net change in non-cash working capital later on in the model. So this is to say that we want to know how this target company is managing its cash flow. So we want to estimate its working capital, and to know from the best case, we're going to know from the base case if we are using the base case, and we're going to know from the worst case scenario in each of these line items. So we should set it up here so that in the best case we have this amount, and In the best case, we have this, and in the worst case scenario, we have this account payable days, which set up here, which will later on impact our financial statements going forward. Then we have also set up here financing and investing drivers. We also have it here, the floating rate benchmark, which here it depending on the base rate and how it's gonna fluctuate as time goes on. So we are seeing here that the base rate is not always fixed. So as such, the lenders might require for an additional compensation due to the additional risks that they will be taking as a result of investing in such an investment. So we have to account for the floating rate benchmark as a result, in addition to its base rate. So the base rate in this case is going to be the 3-month London interbank offer rate. That's the base rate in the United States, but it depends on the jurisdiction you are in. So in this case, we have set up cases for the fluctuations in this base rate as a result. So it could be, in the worst case, it could be this, and in the very best case, it could be this. And then also, we also have, in the best case, it could be this, in the best case, it could be this, and in the worst case, it could be this. So we also have dividends set aside in case in this model that we notice it's a leverage buyout, so we don't expect any dividends to be paid interim. Why? Because this is a leverage buyout, and we understand that the equity investors they get nothing paid except